quiet village surrounded by endless fields and tall, swaying trees, there lived a young boy named Aaron, who seemed to have everything he could want in life, yet carried a weight no one could see. His house was warm, his family was kind, and food was always on the table. But Aaron's mind was never at rest. From the moment he opened his eyes, his thoughts raced like wild horses, chasing one another endlessly, dragging him through fears of the future and regrets of the past. Even when he laughed with his friends, part of his mind lingered in worries that had not yet happened. Even when he slept, his dreams were crowded with noise and confusion, and no matter how much he tried, peace felt like a stranger he could never recognize. One evening, after watching him sit quietly yet appear exhausted, an old traveler passing through the village stopped and asked Aaron why his eyes looked so tired, even though he was still a boy. Aaron, surprised that someone noticed, replied honestly, "My body rests, but my mind never does. I am always thinking. I cannot stop. I wish I could just be free." The traveler smiled gently, a smile that seemed to hold the calm of rivers and the patience of mountains, and said, "If you truly want to learn, come with me to the river before sunrise tomorrow, and I will show you a secret few people ever understand." The next morning, as the world was still wrapped in silence, and the first rays of sunlight touched the tops of the trees, Aaron followed the traveler through the dew-soaked fields. They reached a river, clear and flowing, reflecting the soft pink and gold of the morning sky. The traveler picked up a small, smooth stone and handed it to Aaron, asking him to hold it tightly in his hand and never let go, no matter what happened. At first, the stone felt light, almost comforting, and Aaron held it without difficulty, thinking the task would be simple. But as minutes turned into moments, his fingers began to ache, then his wrist, then his arm. And yet, the traveler said nothing, simply watching quietly. Aaron shifted uncomfortably, tried to adjust the stone, tried to ignore the pain, but the more he held on, the heavier the stone felt, until finally he shouted, "I cannot do this anymore." The traveler asked softly, "Was the stone heavy?" Aaron, panting and frustrated, replied, "No, it was small. It is not heavy, but my hand, it hurts, it burns. I cannot hold it." The traveler smiled, and in that moment, Aaron realized the truth. It was not the stone that caused the pain, but his refusal to let go. "Your mind is like this stone," the traveler said. "You hold on to thoughts tightly, and that is what causes your suffering. Worries about yesterday, fears about tomorrow, anger, regret. When you grip them, you feel the weight. But when you release them, peace comes." The traveler then asked Aaron to drop the stone into the river. As Aaron let it go, watching it sink slowly into the flowing water, a wave of relief washed over him, and for the first time he felt the quiet, the stillness, the calm, not because his thoughts had disappeared, but because he had stopped holding them. "Life," the traveler explained, "is always happening now. The past is gone. The future is not yet here. All that exists is this moment, this breath, this step you take. If you keep holding on to what is gone or what is not yet, you will never feel alive." Aaron returned home that day, walking through the village with a strange lightness in his chest. The world had not changed. His family, the fields, the sun, and the river were exactly the same. But Aaron was different. When worries came, he noticed them, and instead of chasing them or clinging to them, he let them float by like leaves on a stream. When fear came, he observed it without fighting it, and it lost its power over him. Slowly, day by day, the noise in his mind softened, not gone completely, but manageable, leaving behind a quiet strength, a steady presence, a feeling of being fully alive in the moment. And as he learned to let go, Aaron also learned the most powerful secret of life. Peace is not found by trying to silence the mind or escape reality. Peace is found by learning to meet each thought without holding it, by breathing, by walking, by feeling, by simply being present. Every moment becomes brighter, clearer, and more alive when the mind is no longer weighed down by unnecessary thoughts. He realized that the river never fights the water that flows. The trees never resist the wind, and the clouds never cling to the sky. They simply exist, and in that existence, there is freedom. Years later, people in the village would sometimes see Aaron sitting by the river, calm and quiet, watching the water flow. And they would notice a smile on his face, not because life had become perfect, but because he had discovered the one thing everyone searches for but few find, the art of letting go. And in that, he understood that every worry, every fear, every regret is just a stone in the hand, and life will only feel light when we choose to release it. So, remember this: your mind is not your enemy. Your thoughts are not your chains. The weight you feel is only there because you hold it too tightly. Let go, breathe, and allow life to happen as it is. For the present moment is the only place where true peace, true strength, and true happiness exist. And when you learn to release your stones, even the heaviest burdens will dissolve, and your heart will finally know the quiet joy of freedom.